that was a sore one. Sore, just tragic, just emotional. Scott Brown's last game at Celtic Park, a decade of dominance for him is obviously over, as of the rest of the squad, but more importantly than that, Scott Brown's Celtic career is over. What a legend, what an absolute legend. I can't stop laughing at that post-match press conference. Oh my Christ almighty, brilliant, absolutely, just Bruni, what a legend, on and off the park, a character, a player, just everything that you've ever want in a captain. I've already spoken off in the last few weeks since it was announced that Scott Brown would leave the club about how much respect I have for Scott Brown, how I look up to Scott Brown, and how much Scott Brown means to me and the rest of the Celtic support. I don't need to go over that time and time again, but it hit hard tonight, watch that last interview and seeing him play at Celtic Park for the last time, how much he actually has meant to this club, and how much he's done for this club. Him not being at Celtic is going to take some adjusting. It's going to be something to get used to that I don't think any of us have really been prepared for. So it'll really be interesting next season to see how we cope with the loss of one of the greatest captains this club will ever see. But tonight, a great performance from him, both on and off the park with that interview. And something that, Gordon Strachan put it well in saying, done better his last performance as he did for his first performance. It takes some doing. Of course, he's not had the greatest year this year. Let's not lie in saying that it's been a great year for Scott Brown in terms of playing. It's probably one of his worst playing seasons, but the guy's been booting the arse right out it, as Hugh Keevins would say. He's been doing it for years. He's been in that first team, and he's been wrote off so many times, and he's came back and he's won Players of the Year awards, and he's done everything. He's won everything. He is undoubtedly one of the greatest players to grace this country. I'm honoured that I got the chance to watch Scott Brown for all these years. As I said, he's my generation's Paul McStay, and I'll always remember him as our greatest captain in my lifetime. So I'm honestly very grateful that I got to enjoy the career of Scott Brown. A couple of historic moments, of course, along with Brown's last game. You get Adam Montgomery making his debut for the club. You also get Karamoko Dembele scoring his first goal for the club. A big day for Celtic as we beat St Johnstone 4-0. Of course, a game that's very much meaningless, a game that didn't hold much of a sort of importance outside of Brown's final game at Parkhead. There was one still that I wanted us to bounce back from that embarrassment to Rangers and get a win, and a convincing win, and that's exactly what the team gave us. I don't know if Brown's last appearance at Parkhead spurred them on a little bit more to play that bit more entertaining today, but if it was, then I wish Brown was leaving every week, because it was fantastic. It was enjoyable to watch today. It was one of those rare performances we've had this season, and it's something that we need now from this game and the Hibs game to carry us into next season. We really do. We need those sort of 4-0 wins out of the two games that we have to get it. But we need those sort of performances that get you believing there's players good enough to take us into a title challenge of some form next season. Because, of course, a lot of people have been writing Celtic off with the rebuild we have to go through. But if Eddie Howe has the talent there, and we have the motivation as fans there for next season, there's no doubt that we can do something next season. So it's a good step now into the Hibs game, and hopefully in the Hibs game once again we take more momentum heading into the summer, and the Eddie Howe announcement. I was delighted with everything we watched today. I mean, Ismail Assoro was awarded goal of the season before that game. Take the award off him and give it to Odsonne Edouard. It's an emotional game for so many ways, so many reasons. We were thinking about, obviously, Scott Brown's last game at Celtic Park, but that was very possibly the last time we see Christopher Ajer at Celtic Park, the last time we see Odsonne Edouard at Celtic Park, the last time we see Mohamed El Younousi at Celtic Park. All of these talents, along with Scott Brown, might have made their last home appearance tonight, and two of them marked it out with a goal, Ajer and Edouard. Very poetic that the two of them get a goal in their final Celtic Park appearance. It is going to be so hard to replace players of their quality. They're just unbelievable. They've been great servants as well to the club. Edouard has been here for the last 4 years now, and Christopher Ajer the last 5 years. They've been great servants. I've been honoured to watch those guys as well. They've been talented, and the thing is, the talent Ajer and Edouard bring is very unique talent. It's very, once in a lifetime, it's not once in a lifetime, but once in a while talent. They're players that are going to go to the very top in this game. You had it with Moussa Dembele, which I guess was not too long before Edouard and Ajer, but these players come very few and far between. And it's been a privilege to watch those guys. So if they made their final appearances at Celtic Park tonight, I'm happy that they went out with a goal. And I'm happy we got to see them. Hopefully there is some convincing from the new manager, Mr. Eddie Howe, if it is him, to keep them at the club. Maybe get a new contract there, but I'm not going to get my hopes up on that. But those two were brilliant yet again tonight. Karamoko Dembele, why have we not... The team performance today was brilliant, by the way. I was very happy with even Adam Montgomery. I think he showed some great promise in his first appearance. Like, it was nothing outrageous. It's not going to be one of those performances that leave you breathless and the hair standing the back of your neck. It was nothing extraordinary, but it was solid. And for a guy of his age, as such a young talent, it's good to see the positives shining through. Barkas getting a clean sheet. You've got to love it. I mean, he was barely tested, but I've been on the Barkas bus all season. I've been trying to push for him to get back in that team. To see him keep a clean sheet today is good for, of course, his morale and his confidence as a Celtic player. He only had to make one save when the ball looked as though it might have dipped in the back of the net behind him. He was forced to make quite an unusual save, but apart from that, wasn't really tested. I thought the back line was fine. I thought the midfield dynamic looked really good. I thought we looked in Turnbull once again with a goal. I mean, David said in the podcast he's been off the boil. I mean, off the ball players don't score goals like that. Brilliant finish from him. I thought from back to front we were absolutely tremendous today. Karamoko Dembele. I've been saying on the Celtic the Thunder time and time and time again, why do we not play Karamoko Dembele? Now, I think we're in a lucky position where his contract has been extended by a year. He will be here to the following summer. We need to be using this guy next season. We need to be keeping him at Celtic. There is no denying it. I'll say it straight now. I'll say it with all the confidence in my mind. He's not a player that's all hype. He's not got all these Instagram followers and all the rest of it because of hype. He's a player who's undoubtedly going to have a good place in the game. I think he's got a very promising career ahead of him. Of course, we're hoping that he might bulk up a wee bit, grow a little in size, but he's a player who has got talent, and there's a reason that he's been touted as one of Europe's biggest wonder kids, because he came off the bench today and every time he has come off the bench and every time he's been given a chance at Celtic, he has impressed me. I've never looked at him and went like that, why is he in the team or anything like that. I've always wanted him in the team. We went through the majority of this season without a right winger, without any width, struggling, asking who can play instead of James Forrest, and we opted to play either a narrow formation, which simply didn't work for Celtic, or play with Ryan Christie on the right wing, who'd done a horrendously bad job at it. All this time, we could have been given minutes to Karamoko Dembele, and I'm not saying he could have started and played 90 minutes every single game we played this season, because that is very demanding for a player that young, who might not be quite ready yet. But we could have gave valuable minutes to Karamoko Dembele this season, and he could have developed his game massively, and he could have helped us through a sticky situation with no right midfielder. He gets time today, and he got time against Aberdeen. He was not bad as well, but his time today comes on, dribbles all the way down the park, scores a beautiful finish of a goal. Absolutely tremendous. And why have we not been giving him more time throughout the season? I have been saying it every week in the podcast. We've been struggling for a right mid. You've got one there who we gave a debut to in the Scottish Cup final of 2019. That was 2 years ago. And since then, he's barely had a sniff. Well, it was actually the week before the Scottish Cup final. It was against Hearts. And he was on the bench for the final. But that was 2 years ago. And he's not had a sniff since, and he comes off today and scores. And I think it's a kind of situation now that we need to be giving these guys chances. A bit of a wake up call. We have so many younger players there that need chances. Kennedy, of course, hinted at giving younger players chances, and he's seen that today with Montgomery starting the game. Karamoko Dembele, as Mila Soro came on to play a little bit at the end of the game as well. So I'm hoping that carries through into the game at Easter Road at the weekend. We get to see some young players too, ones that will be here next season. Because we need to be giving these guys minutes. We have to be giving them the taste of first team experience, especially with we keep talking about this potential they've got. The only way that we're going to tap into that potential is if we give them the minutes before that potential sort of expires, or they go elsewhere to try and get that potential and make it into ability. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that Dembele teaches a lesson today with situations like that. Montgomery as well with a good performance. But overall, the Celtic performance was great today, and 4 goals. You can't complain. 4 well-worked goals. I was very happy watching that performance, and we're one step closer to the end of a dreadful campaign. Scott Brown, what a legend, and I wish we were in the stadium there. I could just imagine 60,000 people at the start of the game watching us gave him the plaque, and I can only imagine 60,000 people being there for the speech at the end of the game. You know, it would have been brilliant. He's a leader, a legend, as they always say, captain, leader, legend. Someone that will hopefully see at Celtic again one day in another role, and I think that we'd all agree, welcome with open arms. He's done so much for this club, and he's always led by example. A fantastic player, a player that many are very jealous of, and I think Jealous had just never had a player like that at their club. So I'm very grateful for everything Brown's done, and I hope we do see him back at Celtic one day. But Celtic 4, St Johnstone 0. Brilliant, especially against St Johnstone, who are such a well-drilled side at the minute. Aye, like and subscribe. See y'all next time.